So for any entrepreneur, there's always a point where you want to sell a business. And I'm in the middle of selling on a business, and I wanted to share one of the kind of key takeaways. It's not particularly the most flattering, but again, that's what this is all about. It's about sharing the lessons you're learning, the experiences you're having, mostly the bad ones, because that's where you learn the most, and hell, that's where the most value can be imparted. So I'm in the middle of selling something, and we had a meeting, essentially going through all the kind of finer details and the handover, and there's been a huge series of these meetings over the last few months, and this was kind of towards the end. And the guys turned to me and they said, "Look, what's your kind of key takeaway? What's the lesson that you've learned from this?" And the lesson I've learned, when I really look at it hard, is if you're selling a business when you want to sell your business, you've sold it too late. So I'm going to break that down. By the time you get to the mindset of, I want to sell this business, you're looking at getting out rather than in that mindset of when you were building it up and growing it and growing it and growing it. Once you've come to the point where you want to sell it, you want to get out, you've detached slightly, even unconsciously. Now, a sale is going to take 6 months, sometimes a year. It depends obviously on the circumstances. I'm talking about small businesses in this because, to be fair, I don't have the experience in the much bigger slots. But say the smaller instances, if you get to the mindset of it's time to sell and you start that process, as your head is mentally disengaged, the excitement around your business is going to decrease because, as I said, mentally you're that little bit checked out. And if the process takes 6 months or a year, that's all going to have an effect on your business and ultimately an effect on whatever price it is that you get for your business. So if you have a business where the end game will ultimately be to sell it, I'd actually encourage anybody, and this is something I didn't do, I wish I did, is to actually sit down with your accountants or sit down with a financial advisor and say, I'm building this business, it's going to be sellable, I will ultimately sell it, and I'd love you to look at it and I'd love you to kind of test the waters on a reoccurring basis just to see if there's interest, if there's offers. And on that basis, you'll get offers. They might excite you, they might not excite you, but they'll come, and hopefully the time when you want to sell, there'll be an offer there waiting for you, rather than not engaging with any of that and coming to a point where you're like, okay, I want to sell, engaging with all the people that will potentially put it to other third parties, going 6 months, going a year, and having that effect on your business. Long story short, reason why is your business will never be more valuable than the point that you're bang in the middle of it, you're pushing it, you're driving it, you're excited it, and you're loving it. As you start to detach, that has an effect, that will have an effect on the bottom line. And so very, very frustratingly, sometimes when you're in a business or you're going to sell a business, or the place that I'm in, you can actually look back a year and go, God, if I sold it then, this business would be much, much, much more valuable and I'd get a much better return. And frustratingly, I am where I am now. I'll get a good price, but it's not what it would have been. Anyway, so it's a little bit vulnerable sharing that, but I actually really, really hope it brings value to whoever watches this. And as I said, you can watch on, you can perhaps arrange your affairs that little bit better and do that little bit better. And hell, if you do really, really well, you can always give me a commission.